Hello and welcome to the next video of the America's 2025 preview videos. We're covering Shopify Rebellion of LTA North. Going into this season, I have this roster ranked 5th of the 8 teams. If you missed my second video or third video after I did 100 Thieves, I don't know if it's Dignitas, I think it was Dig. I rearranged them because I had to change something with the 100 Thieves. So in doing so, Shopify are 5th. Last season was their debut year in the LCS, and they finished 7th in both splits. So really, you can only go up pretty much from there. I mean, there are 8 teams, so I guess technically you could go down, but it'd be hard. It'd be hard to go down to 8th based on the rosters this season. So only one player returns from the Shopify Rebellion roster of last year, and that's B-Boy. The other 4 are newcomers. So Fudge joins the team in top lane. He was not with the team in summer. He was with Cloud9 in spring, but still under contract. No one bought him out in summer. Carry-oriented top, 3.5 KDA, 54.1 KP, 8.6 CS per minute, is rated as the second best top laner in LTA North going into the season. High resource at 8.6 is no joke. Will go in the side lane, play finesse champions. I know we think back to his Fiora games at Worlds where he lost his team games because he was, overestimating his ability. We'll see how he does this season, and if he can take on more of a facilitator role at times and play weak side if necessary. Negative 0.4% share differential, so giving the team a little less damage than he receives in gold. 1.19 ROI, which is damage divided by gold. Up only 45 gold at 15 minutes, so relatively even in the laning phase. 2.31 vision score per ward placed. 11 champions in 23 games. Is 22 years old, the youngest player on this team. Renekton, Udyr, and Aatrox were 52% of his champion pool. But let's think about that. 45 gold ahead at 15 minutes, but an 8.6 CS per minute. So with Cloud9, he was getting a lot of the farm in the mid to late game last spring. It was not in the laning phase where he was getting his gold. The jungle and mid combination come from NRG. Contracts did a lot for NRG, made things go for that squad. Of course, that team was the one that surprised people at 2023 Worlds and got to quarterfinals. 3 KDA, 76.3 KP, and a 6.1 CS per minute. 76.3 KP is significant. He gets around the rift. He makes things happen. And that's why I said he was the one that made things go for NRG. There were some games that really stuck out where it was like, oh God, Contracts is doing everything for this team. Excuse me. For this team right now. Negative 2 share differential, 1.24 ROI. So he's more efficient than Fudge in the damage department. Negative 80 gold at 15 minutes, so pretty much even. A 4.22 vision score per ward placed. 21 champions in 44 games. That's a lot of champions. Third in his role, 25 years old. Sejuani, Vi, and Maokai, 32% of his champion pool. So only 1 out of every 3 games did he play one of his 3 most played. In mid is Palafox. Palafox left a lot to be desired last season. Based on those that played in Tier 1 last year, he is rated as one of the worst mids going into this season. Now, he's 5th because we have players like Saint, Loki, and somebody else, Abadage, who didn't play in the LCS or Tier 1 last season that aren't ranked. So, he's 5th by default. And that's unfortunate. I mean, he had a really high at 2023 Worlds. A lot of people giving him a ton of praise. His champion pool was fun and paired well with Contracts. But last year, the drop-off from Palafox was clear as day. He really fell off a cliff, in my opinion. 64 KP, 8.8 CS per minute, so not very active. Less than 2 out of every 3 kills. 2.8 share differential and a 1.5 ROI, so not giving the team a lot more damage than he was receiving in gold from an efficiency standpoint. Down 250 gold at 15 minutes, so 255 gold behind on average. Every game he won even. There's a game he's behind 510. 2.65 vision efficiency, 14 champions in 44 games, ranks 5th, 25 years old. Corki, Talia, Azir, 41% of his champion usage. Returning in the 80 carry role is Bevoy. Bevoy ranked 7th last season out of LTA South. LTA North 80 carries. That technically is last, only because Scary Jerry doesn't have stats. So Bevoy, although he had very high highs, and in spring he was one of my all pros in the bot lane role. He was 3rd, but in summer he just wasn't there. It didn't happen. There was no follow up to the spring performance, and thus his stats literally tanked that bad that he went from top 3 to 7th, which is quite interesting. 4.3 KDA, 66 KP, 8.9 CS per minute. So also not involved in his team's successes. Less than 2 out of every 3 kills. And we see this sometimes with bot lane duos. I'm sure if we looked at Zazel's stats from last year, we'd get a better idea of if Bevoy was left alone or if he was with Zazel in a side lane and in the 2v2. Something I do notice with Seos on this team joining is he was in a similar situation last year with a 66% win rate. So maybe they are looking for we're going to do 1-3-1s and things like that and try and, not even one, well, I guess so. 1-3-1s and with the bot lane duo and the jungler in mid or something and see what happens with that. Maybe that's the look they want to go with. I don't know. 8.9 CS per minute, 3.1 share differential. So if we do the math here on the share differential, things get kind of hectic. So Palafox and Bevoy combined for a 5.9. But when we take into account all the negative, we have 8.8. So negative 2.9 share differential indicates to me that we are going to have players on this team that need to deal more damage. They need to deal more damage because when we do all the math with the percentages at least, and of course these are different teams. One only played in spring and Cloud9, and then we have 2 NRG players, a Shopify Rebellion player, and then a Brazilian player, all combining. Somebody's still going to have to do more than they did on last year, whoever's team they were on. They got to do more. They got to be more efficient for their team. They got to deal more damage share relative to gold share. 1.52 ROI, that's got to change too. We need more efficiency in the damage divided by gold standpoint. If whatever gold you're getting, you need to, it just correlates. Not only this, if the team's giving you 25% of the gold, you got to be dealing 30% of the damage. What are we doing? We can't be dealing 26% of the damage with 25% of the gold. That's just not going to work. Because somewhere, someone else is getting gold, and what are they doing? Well, that's where, someone needs to be dealing a lot more damage with their 20%, and it's not coming from anybody on this team based off of last year's stats. That's because nobody is very, very efficient in the damage divided by gold, standpoint. 15 gold ahead. Looking at this team, that's another problem. 335, 420 maybe. Yeah, 420 behind. I mean, they're 350, 370 gold behind on average of 15 minutes. That's a problem too. Based on last year's stats, laning-wise, they'll be behind at 15 minutes. 2.67 vision efficiency, 12 champions, 28 games, ranked 7th, 27 years old. Varus Ezreal Kaisa, half of his games played. Seos joins from Brazil. Many people said that Seos was good enough to be in the LCS and things like that. Based on last year's stats, though, he would be 7th in his role. So we'll see if that does come to fruition and he can step it up and match the LCS and an LTA, I guess the LTA North, and play LCS bot laners. He's 26 years old, though, so this team is older. You would think they're younger, but it's not the case. Fudge is 22, and then the rest are 25 and over. So 2.9 KDA, 66.2 KP. Like I said, not very involved in his team last year. Less than 2 out of every 3 kills. Some supports are 3 out of every 4 and getting around the rift, making things happen. Seos was not like that last year. Negative 6.4 share differential, 0.69 ROI. Negative 85 gold, 1.93 vision efficiency, 11 champions in 44 games. Nautilus, Leona, Rakan, half of his games played. The coach is Revan. Revan is 49 and 43 over his career as a coach. I should have separated this better. I did not. In hindsight, right now, I've been separating major and minor region records, and I didn't for Revan. I should have. So these are combined 49 and 43. That includes Latin America, Brazil, and the LCS. In the regular season, 53%. Playoffs, 54% at 27 and 23. And internationally, that is with Cloud9, 1 and 5, 17% win rate. So we'll see what happens with this team. I have my reservations. That's for damn sure. I know a lot of people, probably are going to look at B-Boy's spring and overvalue it. Like I said, he was one of the best in spring, but in summer it just did not happen. Palafox last year left a lot to be desired after his 2023. Contracts is still very good. Fudge is very good. So the top side is solid. It's the bottom side of the rift that's going to be a question mark on this squad. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.